Alright guys, so we have a lot of news that has released in the past few days regarding Spider-Man's next film, Spider-Man Brand New Day as they have it titled, and Marvel and Sony have officially revealed the Spider-Man suit that we're going to see Tom Holland wearing inside of that movie, along with a bunch of other behind the scenes footage and, set photos that I have to show you guys today. So let's go ahead and go through all of this. We'll talk about it as we go along here. And yeah, let's just go ahead and jump straight into the first video that we're going to check out, which is of course the suit reveal. All right, so we have the suit reveal video right here. Let's get some jumps in. Okay. This type of warehouse. And there we have it. Tom Holland in the brand new suit, guys. And he looks great, man. He does. Spider-Man Brand New Day. What a great reveal from Marvel and from Sony. Now, first things first, I love the suit design. I love that Earth 616's Spider-Man seems to be taking inspiration from the other Spider-Men that he met inside of the No Way Home film, such as Tobey Maguire's or Andrew Garfield's Spider-Mans. It seems like Tom Holland Spider-Man's new suit is clearly inspired by these two guys, so that's very interesting there. I do have another video to play, a teaser that they released before this official reveal, where we get a close-up look at the webbing on the suit, so let's go ahead and play that so we can talk about that also. Okay, here we go right there. You could just see, man, the detail. It looks so detailed. Great shots that you get to see right here. I think the video looped actually. But okay, there we have it there. So as we've seen in those up close shots there, they are going with a raised webbing off of the suit, which is different than the Tom Holland Spider-Man fits that we've seen in the past inside of these films, which by the way, I love those outfits too. I think they did a great job with them. And I'm glad that we're getting something new inside of the Brand New Day film as we start our new arc with Peter Parker inside the MCU, where no one knows him at all. And we're going back to a more classic take on this classic character. Now, those are the two official videos that they released that I'm sure everyone is talking about. And now we're going to go ahead and gear over to some more behind the scenes footage and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into that next, starting with this first clip here.
Tom, I can't take anything because I'll get it on my glove.
Okay, so we get to see Tom interacting with the fans here. And shout out to this guy's YouTube, by the way. I guess this is his video, Chris Doc. Yeah, just a wholesome interaction with the fans there from Tom Holland. But if you guys didn't notice there on the suit, the web shooters are on the outside of the Spider-Man suit. So while of course in canon Tom Holland Spider-Man does use web shooters similar to the comic version, which is different than of course Tobey Maguire Spider-Man where it just comes out of his skin. In the past we've seen Tom Holland have it inside of his suit. We weren't able to see it on the outside as visible as it is now, so that's very interesting there. We'll take a a closer look at that later in this video. But moving on to the next clip here that I wanted to talk about. There's the next clip right here. Just more shots of him in the suit, more shots of him with fans. Again, very wholesome clip there. And now we'll move on to some more behind the scenes footage that I found interesting, where it comes more into the action that we're going to get to see inside of this film. Okay, so right here we have Tom Holland's stunt double, which it looks very much like him. They did a good job, finding the actor for this, by the way. But yeah, here he is on top of some type of tank-like vehicle. I guess some type of military is involved in this movie during some point. And yeah, we see them riding through New York. I don't know if this is a full-on set that they built for it or if this is the actual New York streets. I think it's the actual streets, honestly. Yeah, just him hitting the Spider-Man pose here. Doing something with the tank lid. And then I want to see if there's anything else in this particular section. Okay, here we go. We got a different shot here. And yeah, they're just out on the street in New York. So yeah, definitely being filmed in NYC, of course. It's where Spider-Man takes place. And here we go with some set photos for us to see. So I'll just let us all get a look at this. A lot of fans out there during the shooting. Which, damn, I wonder how they're going to keep, most of this movie behind closed doors as they've done in the past, considering they're just filming out in public like this. It's hilarious, but all right. That's that clip right there. Now let's go ahead and move on to yet another one here. We got more shots of New York here, and we're going to see some vehicles drive down here. But look at this one. It gets pulled, for an action scene. Very similar to like The Dark Knight, right? Where the whole truck flips. It looks like something like that is going on there. Maybe Spider-Man's holding the truck. You never know with the webs back. And here we see a tank come through. And if you look closely, there is a particular symbol on this tank that is linked to something inside this Spider-Man universe that I see a lot of other people talking about and discussing online. So outside of that, we do have one more clip here to show you guys, and this is a very interesting one here. Okay, and here we go with this clip here. We see Frank Castle, the Punisher, on set for Spider-Man Brand New Day, just whooping ass, okay, taking care of business there. I really enjoyed that behind the scenes footage. So that's all the behind the scenes footage, you know, for today. And now let's go ahead and move into the cast, the people that we can expect to see inside of this film, because there's also a lot of news around that also. For instance, this image right here, which says Spider-Man, the Punisher, and the Hulk will all fight each other in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So not only do we get the behind the scenes footage clip of the Punisher, but now we also know Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk will return inside of this film. And yeah, they're apparently going to have some big fight scene with each other. I'm sure that's going to be extremely entertaining on the big screen. And let's go ahead and take a look at some other images that I wanted to talk about here, such as this one right here of Michael Mando. It says Michael Mando will return as Scorpion in Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you don't know which character this is, Scorpion is a very prominent Spider-Man villain. May have come across him in the games or something like that. You know, he's kind of been a part of the Spider-Man mythos for a very long time now. And we did get an end credit scene in one of the Spider-Man films. I want to say at the end of Homecoming. And if it wasn't at the end of Homecoming, then it was at the end of the very next one, which was Far From Home. But I think it was at the end of Homecoming where we seen Scorpion in the post-credit scene. He's talking to the Vulture, and they never really have, you know, anything expanded upon outside of this post-credit scene. We never see these characters come back, but apparently they're finally coming back for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So I'm glad to see that we're getting some continuity and some correction there from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and from Sony, right? So let's go ahead and look at some other images that we have here to talk about. This one right here is the release date. So Spider-Man Brand New Day begins filming today. Again, this was taken a few days ago. And then in theaters, July 31st, 2026. So we have an official release date for this film, that being July 31st, 2026. So about a year from now, almost exactly a year from now, slightly under that. But still, I'm very excited about this movie. I'm very excited about the direction of the MCU going with this film and with Spider-Man in the future. Now, here's another image that I found interesting. As we can see here, Charlie Cox will reprise his role as Daredevil in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So we're just going to be bringing in a ton of more street level characters, such as Daredevil, such as Punisher. I know the Hulk's not really street level, you know, but the MCU has kind of turned him into that. We've kind of seen Hulk turn into a caricature of himself in the MCU as of late, but who knows, maybe we get Mad Hulk back inside of this film, and I couldn't be more excited about Daredevil returning inside of this film, inside a Spider-Man movie. Of course, the first time we seen Daredevil on the big screen was in Spider-Man No Way Home, where he was the lawyer for Spider-Man. So continuity wise, canon wise, these characters are existing inside the same universe with each other, which is why we're going to see Daredevil return inside this movie. And that's going to be amazing because I am a huge fan of the Daredevil character. I think season 1, 2, 3 that were on Netflix, I believe they're now on Disney Plus now, are phenomenal. Some of the best superhero television to ever be done up to this point. I think the new season with Daredevil Born Again is fantastic. I think they did a great job bringing the show back. Is it as good as it used to be? Maybe there's some debate there to be had, but it is still a very solid series, especially on the Disney Plus platform. Now here's an overall shot for the rest of the cast that we're going to be getting inside this film. Of course, Zendaya is going to be returning as MJ, which I don't think she's actually titled Mary Jane. They just call her MJ, so that's interesting. But yeah, we're gonna see Zendaya return as MJ. I really like her character. I'm curious as to how they're going to bring Peter Parker and MJ back together. Of course, these characters are kind of just meant to be together, right? It's just something that's destined to happen, at least inside of this fictional world that is Spider-Man. So bringing these characters back together, I can't wait to see them return on screen, and who knows, I guess flourish their relationship. Maybe through some loophole, Peter finds a way to help her regain her memory, help Ned regain their memory, and that's sort of the only people that remember him. I don't know. I'm not sure how exactly they plan on doing this inside of this film. Maybe he just goes out on a whim and tries to date her all over again. That's also a possibility. So of course, Mark Ruffalo, Punisher, the girl from Stranger Things. I'm not aware of this actress's name, at least at the moment that I'm recording this. But yeah, the girl from Stranger Things is going to be in here. This actress to the right of her, I'm completely unfamiliar with whatever project she's been in. And then we get to see, of course, Scorpion, which we already talked about. Now, Ned, where is he going to fit inside of this Brand New Day film? Of course, he's still friends with Zendaya. they remember each other. So it's going to be natural that if he ever gets back in proximity to Zendaya, he's going to be back in proximity to his ex-best friend Ned. And yeah, I'm curious to see how they're going to, again, as I said with Zendaya, reattach these characters and flourish their relationships once again, because I did like this trio of characters with Peter Parker, MJ, and Ned, and kind of how their interactions went inside of the Spider-Man trilogy that exists inside of the MCU. Quite honestly, I feel like the MCU Spider-Man trilogy is quite underrated because Homecoming is a very solid film. I know people get upset because it's not a Spider-Man origin story, but I think that's just fine, right? We've seen a Spider-Man origin story over and over and over again, which is why in new films that release, we're not getting an origin story anymore. That's quite apparent. They did the same thing with the Superman film, with the Batman 2022 film, and it's been just fine. So I think Homecoming fits as not an origin story for Spider-Man, but an origin story for Spider-Man inside of the MCU. It has a great villain in Vulture, Michael Keaton. He does a fantastic job inside of this film. There's a great twist there inside of that movie, and I don't mind the inclusion of Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark inside of this film, which again, a lot of other people had a problem with because he's supporting and providing all of this different tech to Spider-Man, kind of acting as a father figure to him. Again, I don't find these things as a problem. I think Far From Home is underrated. It's a great movie, and I also think No Way Home, of course, it's not underrated because everyone loves No Way Home. That's the one that made over $1 billion that everyone came out to see, but it's just a great way to still this trilogy. So now we're continuing on here. I'm hoping and praying with this movie that we get a good sequel because, of course, when it came to the Thor franchise, right, when we got our 4th Thor movie, Thor Love and Thunder, Marvel did a terrible job with that film. So this being our second, quadrilogy inside the MCU, I'm hoping this goes much better than Thor Love and Thunder did. And from what we can see here, I think that it's going to do a lot better than that film did. So overall, guys, those are my thoughts on the Spider-Man Brand New Day suit reveal, along with all of this behind the scenes footage that I revealed and showed to you guys. I hope you enjoyed all of this type of content. And I had a fun time discussing it. So let me know your thoughts with all this Spider-Man Brand New Day news down in the comment section down below. If you don't know what I do here on Demigod ENT, we do film, TV, and anime-based content. So if you're interested in any of this type of content, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.